Hey there, Knolly Williams here, your success coach. I'm super excited that I recently joined EXP. People have been asking me, Knolly, man, you joined EXP, you were with Keller Williams, what's going on? Well, I just made this video to share with you exactly what's happening and what's going on, the excitement level of what's happening here at Knolly Realty with my real estate business. I got into real estate after a very successful and lucrative career in the music industry. I was doing really, really well in that business. However, the music business tanked, and I was like, what am I going to do next? And real estate was the answer. I got into real estate in 2003, and got right into working with RE/MAX. Now, I absolutely loved RE/MAX. I was one of the top 20 RE/MAX agents in the entire state of Texas. Big state. A lot of us RE/MAX agents, and I was one of the top 20 in the state. Well, as I started having that success, as God started providing for that success in my life, I started getting recruiting calls. People wanted me to join this company or that company. I'd look into the company, I'd do the research, and decide yay or nay. Well, when the opportunity came to join Keller Williams, I really never looked at the company, because I can tell you that when I was with RE/MAX, our brokerage, we had a sort of a dismal view on Keller Williams at that time. I mean, we're talking years and years ago. And so we were like, we're not even going to look into Keller Williams. I mean, we're a RE/MAX agent. I'm a RE/MAX agent. I'm not going to look at that other company. And so I didn't look at the company for many years. But when I finally looked at the company, I said, this is a company that I see myself with. And that's when I made the switch to Keller Williams. And I was with Keller Williams. I was recruited to Keller Williams by Gary Keller. Some of you know and some don't. Gary Keller, I was invited to meet with Gary Keller. Most people knew at the time that I was following the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book in my real estate practice. I was kicking butt, taking tons of listings. In Austin, Texas, I was ranked number 7 by Austin Business Journal. Out of 9,500 agents in the city, my production was ranked number 7. And so the opportunity came. I got a call from Keller Williams International that Gary Keller wanted to meet with me. So we set up the meeting. It was going to be a 30-minute meeting. Ended up being 2+ hours of me and Gary one-on-one. And at the time, I can tell you that I was really considering starting my own company. See, I've been a broker for many, many years. Even at that time, over 10 years ago, I was a real estate broker. And so I was looking to just start my own brand, my own company. I've done branding for years and years, so I'm real adept at that. And so I was like, hey, I'll just do my own deal, right? But I had a great conversation with Gary. I love Gary. I respect him. And I decided to join Keller Williams. And at that time, I said, I'm going to give this 2 or 3 years. Let's see how it goes. And then I'll do my thing, right? Well, I stayed for 10 years. That 3 years that I committed at first, it turned into 10. Absolutely loved Keller Williams. Still love Keller Williams. Love all the folks there at the company. I was approached by my good friends at Group 4610, Kevin and Fred. They've been out to my home many, many times over the past 10 years. We were Keller Williams agents together, and we did a lot of coaching and training initiatives together. In fact, we trained thousands and thousands of agents during the short sale boom when that happened. And we helped a lot of agents to stay in the business. People that were agents that were on their way out of the business, we helped them to stay in the business by switching their tactics, by changing, by shifting with the market and getting into short sales. So Kevin, Fred, and I have a long, over decade-long career of working together. And they approached me with the idea of us working together, coming up with a killer coaching and training type of concept, and doing it through EXP. Well, I was not really excited about EXP. I can tell you, I hadn't looked at the company, but I had heard enough about them from my brokerage that I was with to just kind of poo-poo on them without even looking into it, if you will. And so they would email me videos to watch or things to look at, and I just would ignore. To be honest with you, I'd ignore it. But I said, you know what? These guys, I respect them. They closed over 900 transactions in the past 2 years. They've done over $800 million in real estate just in the past 2 years. So I said, I respect these guys. Let me at least watch a video that they sent me. And I did. I watched the video. And that led me to some other questions. I said, you know, these are things that I was never told about EXP. So I looked into this and looked into that, did 100 days of research. Those of you that know me know I'm very thorough in my research, in my acumen, in my business skills. And so I looked into the company, spent over 100 days doing it, and I had no choice but to join EXP. I tell people even now, you know, I say, if you don't want to join EXP, don't even look at the company. Don't look into it. Don't do the research that I did, because just like Lee Strobel in A Case for Christ, he spent 2 years. He was a lawyer, and he was also a journalist, and he wanted to prove that Jesus Christ was not real, did not exist, and was a fraud. And he spent 2 years of his life attempting to prove that, and the inevitable happened. He became a Christian. So I tell people, if you don't want to join EXP, don't even start looking at the company, because there are just so many benefits to it. It's undeniable. You can't help but want to join when you really look at the opportunity. You know, I love the fact that I've got stock options in EXP. I love the fact that I can work virtually. You know, when I was 22 years old, I made a commitment at that age to work from home. And I've been working from home ever since. Over 25 years been working from home. When I was 22, I asked myself this question: where does the President of the United States work from? Where does he work from? Home. And I said, if the President of the United States can work from home, so can I. And I started at 22 years old to work from home. And I've been doing that ever since. So I love that it's a virtual company. I love the stock options. And I love the ability to build my own revenue sharing organization under EXP, under the company. And that's exactly what I'm doing now. I'm building an incredible revenue sharing organization under EXP. Now I can tell you, revenue sharing and profit sharing are not even in the same stratosphere. I mean, it's not even in the same realm, if you will. You know, you and I as entrepreneurs and business owners, we know the difference. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 13 years old, and I know the difference between revenue and profit. You know, the fact that many brokerages aren't even profitable, and when you start saying, hey, we're going to do profit sharing, that's a whole different ballgame from revenue sharing. Revenue sharing is when you're actually taking what you've earned and you're sharing what you've earned. It's like affiliate marketing. You know, I'm a big internet marketer as well. I teach my students to have multiple streams of income, as I do. You know, I've got multiple businesses. I retired at age 45, and now I teach, train, coach, and help folks just like you to reach your ultimate greatness. Now, I, with all my heart, believe that my ultimate greatness can be reached at EXP, and I can help my clients to reach their goals as well through EXP. Now, if you've read the Forbes article, it talks about the real estate brokerage of the future. I encourage you to read that article. You see, when I was 22 years old, I started my first business. I got $1,800 that I borrowed from family and friends. I didn't even borrow the money. They blessed me with the money. They said, hey, Knolly, we see that you got a dream and a vision. Here's $100, here's $20, here's $40. Well, I raised $1,800. And at the time, I was in the music business. And I started my company with $1,800. Well, within just a few short years, I was earning over $150,000 a month. But when you fast forward, you know, a number of years later, I was told that this digital thing was coming. And we had just come off a cassette, man. We had just come off a cassette to CD. And I was like, man, digital is not going to do anything for my business. Well, I was wrong. Within 2 years, after I had been told about digital, it pretty much tanked and sank my business. I've known for years that brick and mortar companies, it's just not the future. You know, with the advent of MP3, our music sales tanked, and we went down over 70%. We lost 70% of our revenues and ended up bankrupt and out of the business. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. And I can tell you that a dynamic shift is happening in the real estate industry as well. And I'm on board with it. Folks, things are going virtual, and that's where I'm headed. I'm so happy to be partnered with EXP. I encourage you, if you're not already with EXP, to take a look at the company. Look at it long and hard. Spend the time that I did, over 100 days.